While I was pregnant, Jim searched through my bathroom. He found an old condom and went on a rampage saying I was sleeping around while I'm him. I was afraid of him. When I was 8 months pregnant, I couldn't get into the house. He changed the locks. I had to sleep in the car with my dogs.
Pam says to fully understand why she does not want Jim to get sole custody of their daughter, she says you need to know how abusive he is. Take a look.
Jim was physically and mentally abusive to me through the whole relationship. He would say, "You're fat, no other man is gonna want you, you're deformed." Jim destroyed my self-esteem. He beat me and he tried to bite the nose off my face. There was a time when our daughter was only a couple of weeks old. He went and grabbed a sledgehammer and busted the window of my Mustang. He choked me several times. I slapped him and that's when he had me arrested.
Untrue. I am not violent. Pamela is. Pamela actually made marks on herself to show the police, look at what Jim did. But the witnesses confirmed the opposite and they arrested Pam instead.
After the divorce, he forced sex on me. I just kept asking him to stop. I filed a temporary protective order against Jim. He came over to my house the day of the court date and he wouldn't let me go to court. He said that he would kill me. I dropped it because I was so afraid.
Did you interrogate her even before you got married, make her account for every person she's ever dated, known?
No, it sounds like
had any relationship with?
Not
or
at
whatever?
all. It's a good story.
Jim, we sat there. We were in a restaurant. You had a piece of paper on the napkin asking me to
might have been football bets, maybe, but that's about it.
Jim?
Answer to that question, no. The only thing, and I was watching the tape there, the only thing that actually had merit to it, and it was not a violent act, I did go over to her car. I went into the garage, took a hammer, and went over to her car, and I did break the window. And I told her, now, how do you like having your things broken?
You have had, the court has ordered parent coordinators.
Correct.
Right? And let me tell you why that happens, in case you don't know. They look at it and see, you two adults apparently can't behave like adults, so we're going to bring in somebody that has some objectivity and training, and they're going to make decisions for you. They put the child's interest first and say, here's what you're going to be required to do, here's what you're going to be required to do to act like adults and put the child's interest first. Now, on 2 occasions, not one, but 2 occasions, they have written back to the court and said, you will not listen, you will not comply, you will not do what they recommend.
That is correct.
Why is that?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. With the coordinators, very simply, I gave them the court findings to show them a little bit of the facts of the case. They would not read it. In fact,
they don't care any more than I do.
You won't co-parent with them with me.
But Jim, here's the point. One of the coordinators said, and I quote, "I am greatly concerned about his ability to act in the best interest of his daughter." So you're saying, hey, we're concerned about the child. They're concerned about the child. They're not concerned about your ego. They're not concerned about your need to control and dominate and set her to the side. They're saying, I am concerned about his ability to act in the best interest of his daughter. Now listen, you should hear that. You should step back and say, you know what? I need to grade my own paper here. I may have lost my way. I may have gotten so emotionally invested in this. I may be so focused on competition with her that I have lost the best interest of my daughter. The second parent coordinator sent a letter to the judge that said, quote, father doesn't recognize coordinator has authority, threatens to take actions to court and walk out of office and not return. Now, let me tell you, one of the things you need to be cognizant of is that if you thumb your nose at the court can take you out completely. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.